All right, folks, another big win for Florida State. Even game through 30. They turn it on in the second half. That's really kind of been the tone early on this year for Florida State. They go to 2-0. Hey, they've won 31 of their last 32. I'm Rick Ballou. This is my sports bar. Each and every week, right here live in Jacksonville. I give you a few minutes of what I saw and what I expect this week. Oh boy, going back to my hometown in Boston to take on the BC Eagles. That big physical, tough defense, #1 after 2 weeks against the run in big-time college football. I'm on in Jacksonville each and every day from, 3 to 7. We're on the home of the Jaguars, which is AM 1010 on, again, the AM dial, and FM 92.5. Also, if you want to get me on Twitter, Ballou, Ballou, 1010 XL. All right, Florida State got off a little sleepwalking early on, particularly with the offense. Golson started slow. Not all on him. Some drops. Bobo responded in the second half, which is nice. And also that right side of the line left a little bit to be desired. We know they're young. We know they're going to get better. They better get better, and they better do so coming up in a couple of nights against, again, the #1 ranked rushing defense in all of college football in BC. Dalvin Cook, what more can you say? Some would make the point that if he didn't play, they don't win against South Florida. I won't go that far because who knows what the game plan would have been if he wasn't there. But he was sensational. It's time now to enter his name into the Heisman conversation. 30 carries, 266 yards, pay dirt again, 5 times already early this year for Cook. He is a monster. Boy, I hate using him 30 times, though. In a very long season, I'd like to be able to save this guy. Okay, he's a bell cow, but yeah, save him for some bigger games. Nonetheless, they had to use him. Came out, he played well. I thought defensively, Florida State did a nice job getting to the ball. They've really eliminated a lot of mistakes. Not as many defensive penalties early on this year. And we see more guys flash. Hodgkins flashed this week. Newberry for a second consecutive week. I thought Marquez White on the other side of Jalen Ramsey, where you know he's going to be challenged. He has played 2 very good football games early on. I am a little bit concerned about free safety. Who is going to have that position when it's all said and done? To me, Marshall's more of a star. Hunter's a 5th-year senior who they love because of his effort. Is he the guy? I'm not sure. Maybe it ends up being Derwin James when it's all said and done. We'll figure things out. For a second consecutive week, Florida State scored on every drive in the second half. Again, kind of went through the motions a little bit through 30 minutes, but 5 scoring drives in the second half. Good enough to put away a decent football team in USF. Some things I really liked. Setting the tone in that second half. The kick return by Kermit Whitfield. Whitfield looks poised and much better than he did 1 year ago after a sensational freshman campaign, including that big kick return against Auburn in the national championship. Maybe it was a nagging injury last year. Maybe he put on a little bit of weight. Just seemed to lose that burst that he had as a freshman. He's got that back now as a junior. Still a couple of drops, something that Florida State needs to work on when you're bringing a new quarterback into your system. Even though Golson is a veteran, he's still trying to learn everything scheme-wise that's going on around him. Overall, the best thing you could say about Florida State is they have stayed healthy. Now, even though Featherston will not play this weekend, they haven't lost anyone else. That's good news for Florida State because on Friday night, you're going into BC. The Patriots are in Buffalo. The Red Sox have been out of the pennant race since like the first week of May. Fans there who typically would do other things in a professional city, that's not going to be the case on Friday night. This is a big ticket. They'll be fired up for BC, who always plays Florida State tough. The Florida State team traveling there, very young. A lot of guys who've never been on an airplane and been on a road game before will be heading out for the first time. And he picked a huge city to go to. There'll be a lot of, I would think, intensity, probably some anxiety for a lot of these young guys. But I believe the focus is there based on the leadership that we've seen in 2 games. Florida State should not overlook Boston College for a number of reasons. Number 1, BC played Florida State for 60 minutes a year ago in God's country and almost came out of there with the victory. Number 2, they just pounded Howard 76-0. BC has allowed 3 points in 2 games, albeit the competition, Maine, don't sleep on the Black Bears, and Howard, not the greatest ever, But still, you should be able to take notice as to what BC has done. They have always run the ball well. They have always had a very big offensive line. And again, their defense this year is as good as they've seen over there in quite some time. They're also a smart team. We saw a pass back where it was a complete breakdown defensively for Florida State. South Florida learned that during tape study. There's going to be a gadget play or two. There's going to be some things that BC will look at offensively and try to confuse Florida State and get them out of sorts defensively. You know that's coming on a Friday night. By the way, Las Vegas has spoken. That line has shrunk. It went from 10.5 all the way down to 6. I just looked moments ago. It's somewhere in the neighborhood of around 7.5 or 8. So some Florida State money earlier, but the wise guys say, give me BC plus the 10, shrinking that line. So I just can't see a situation where Florida State would overlook BC, considering they have an off week after this game Friday and a time to really rest and get ready for the long second half of the season, if you will, after their first bye. Like Florida State, think they win, go out on the road, find a way to get it done. Hopefully a little bit more consistency offensively in the first half as opposed to waiting until halftime, then coming out and finding a way to score. Again, 11 for 11 on second half drives, except for that one kneel down early on in their season opener. There you go. I like the Noles. I think it'll be a tight ball game. Enjoy your Friday night. I think Florida State improves to 3-0. I am the truth teller, Rick Ballou. I'll be talking with you each and every week right here from the plush Ballou Sports Bar. Get me on Twitter, Ballou 1010XL. Also, I'll be on the sidelines for each and every Jaguars game in the Jaguars Radio Network, which is the same stations that I have my show on each and every afternoon. That is from 3 to 7 on 1010XL and on the FM 92.5. Folks, have a great week. We'll do it again from Ballou Sports Bar coming up 2.